Welcome back, everyone. Aaron Hosmer sitting here with Jered Dean, South Bay Grading. Wanted to kind of give you guys an intro on a project that we talked about yesterday in our South Bay Grading bid room meeting that we do every Wednesday at 8 a.m. It's free and open to the public. In order to get the link for the meeting, go to southbaygrading.com. At the top of our website, there's an opt-in button. Click that link, put in your best email, and you will be subscribed. You'll get the Zoom meeting, and you will get a seat at the table to kind of talk to us about our projects that we're working on, what trades we need help from, and when. You'll have a chance to get on our bid list for all of our upcoming projects. So this job here, Hyatt House, this is it's a demo and a ground up hotel. So there's a bunch of buildings here that are going away. As you can see on Google, I don't really know why, but they're taking all this out. So let's go down to Street View. I love dropping this guy into the trenches. So all this is all going away. I don't know. Sometimes when I see jobs like this, I wonder, why would they do it? Why? I guess, who am I to judge, Anyway, so there's a little street view look. I'm trying to move my thing out of the way so I can actually get out of street view. The loom controls get in my way. So this is our job site right here. Okay. Let's go back to Bluebeam. So this is the same thing we were looking at. It's a little rotated on Google. You can see it's at this angle, so these buildings right here are these buildings right here. Swimming pool. So I always kind of like to take a little gander at the access. Here's where it's cool. There's a gas station right across the street. That always helps. So we've got pretty good access here. You're right off the freeway. Boom, you're there. We're not going to have to drive over any mountain passes or anything. We're in Livermore. Okay, so get my bearings. Let's go back to the plan. So we gotta scrape this site clean. I have sent out a bid invite to all of our preferred subs on this job. So if you are interested in getting on our bid list for this project, shoot me a message and I will make sure you get on the list. So moving on, this page, we've got 125,611 square foot is the whole job footprint. Over here is our fine grading plan, right? So Jered is sitting right across from me, and we are working out of Bluebeam Studio right now, where he is marking up the job as I sit here and talk to you guys. So the first things that Jered and I just went over, here's our legend. You got 3 inches of asphalt on 14 inches of aggregate base. You got the honeycomb hatching is Portland cement and concrete sidewalk per city of Livermore ST5. So that detail is going to tell me what I would assume is a 4-inch thick sidewalk over 4-inch aggregate base. So let's go to their details. Here's, as you can see, ST5. What do you know? 4-inch Portland cement and concrete over 4 inches of AB. There you go. And then we've got a 6-inch section of concrete over 12 inches of AB. A lot of times they refer to this as vehicular concrete. So I'm assuming this is at the driveway. Yep. What do you know? Here you go. Coming in, you've got some vehicular concrete. So vehicular concrete, all this is all asphalt. Okay. And then you've got your standard 4-inch concrete over here. They messed up the hatching on this one. It's all I can see. So this honeycomb hatch, I'm assuming this these little dots right here they have to be concrete just by what I'm looking at. This is all ADA path of travel coming in. Same thing here. These are little curb ramps for wheelchairs to get through the parking lot. So what you have, we're looking down at a parking lot, right? There's going to be a bunch of striping in here for each car to park side by side. They have the sidewalk coming in and then an ADA path of travel right up to the front of the hotel. So I know all this is concrete. Most likely all this in here is landscaping, which is bordered by a bunch of either vertical curb or curb and gutter, okay? Right through the middle of the asphalt here, this looks like valley gutter, pretty standard. Another valley gutter here. Okay, so right now what Jered's doing, he is running a takeoff on the asphalt. He's going to go through and do a takeoff on all the concrete, the pedestrian concrete, that's the 4 and 4. He will do a concrete takeoff on the vehicular concrete, that's the 6 on 12, 6 inches of concrete on 12 inches of base rock. So what we'll do that, get all that figured out. He's going to run a length. We measure curb and gutter in per foot for us, especially because we're digging it by the foot, you know. For the concrete guy, he's got his own calculation for per foot is however many cubic yards of concrete, and he does his own thing. But for grading, when you're grading a curb and gutter, you typically measure it in lineal footage. So let's see, where's that? I'm trying to find our little. Well, we'll just come over here to, here we go. So curb, here's your curb, here's your gutter. We're going to be measuring this in footage because we're kind of coming through and we're notching in curb and gutter, and then hitting it with a viber plate or a jumping jack to compact the base rock underneath it. So anyway, we're going to do a lineal footage takeoff for curb, square footage takeoffs for asphalt and concrete. And that is where we're at right now. We kind of did a initial review. The first things, when I'm looking at a job like this, I'm looking at this grading plan, right? And things jump out to me. I see, oh look, section AA. This is a cross section on sheet C12. Section BB, okay? Section CC, section DD. So they would not put notes like this unless they wanted you to look at them. What I see right now off the bat is we've got sections all the way around and at the perimeter. Most likely there's some sort of retaining structure on this job. So if we shoot over to sheet C11, C11 details. So section AA, yeah, here we go. So AA, there's going to be a wall at the perimeter of the job, and then here's your parking lot, right? Parking lot, wall. BB, this is around the hotel. As you can see, the hotel is here. So you've got a wall up to the street. CC, same thing, section CC, and section DD. So these sections are basically a slice through the earth and you looking at that. Like if you cut a piece of cake and you pulled the cake out and you looked at all the layers of that slice of cake, this is what a cross section is doing for you. It's telling you what is inside that slice of the earth that you just took. Then to go back to our grading plan, we've got some underground utilities. I'm seeing storm. So right here, you got an inlet. This is a bunch of storm drain. So this, most likely, these two catch basins are catching all the rainwater coming off the roof of the hotel, which is right here. So all their gutters are going to flow over here, run down into these catch basins and flow on out into our existing storm system, which is also catching a bunch of runoff from the impervious surface of the asphalt, right? So catch basin, catch basin, catch basin, everything's flowing. As you can see, the arrows, everything's pushing, basically everything's kind of pushing this way on this site. And we're flowing out into a bioretention basin, which these things are here, these bioretention basins are here to let water percolate back into the earth. There's a big push to, I lost the session. Dang. All right. Well, anyway, there's a big push to let water get back into the water table. So that bioretention basin, let me open these drawings back up. I think we got disconnected. I'll just pop these back open. So bioretention basin, let's see here. Oh, look at that. Jered's already started getting the asphalt. As you can see, he's doing his takeoff in Blue Beam. So he's plugging away. Back to this, the retention basin. So water's gonna flow in here. It's going to percolate into the earth, and then this, to me, looks like an overflow. So if this retention basin gets too full of water, water's going to flow into this thing, and it's going to pump out into an existing 15-inch storm drain, the main, and that will take the water away. You definitely don't want stuff to be flooding your job site or your property, because it won't be a job site at that point. So here's a little overlook. Here's your Hyatt House hotel. It's a little backwards C shape. Looks like we got a swimming pool in here. So this little pipe right here is probably catching all of the runoff from rain that's going to drain into the storm. So, anytime they have impervious surfaces like concrete and asphalt, there's got to be some sort of plan for water flow. Keep that in mind. It may be obvious to some of you, but to some maybe not. Another thing to note, you've got a bunch of the concrete walkway coming through here. This little hatching is truncated domes. That's those little yellow plastic things you see at crosswalks. That's for blind people. I guess the idea is it's a detectable surface so that they know when they're coming to an area where cars are traveling. I think I've heard something about their cane being able to tap the hollow dome on there, and they kind of know, but I feel like they can also feel it on their feet. I know I feel it, or I did back in the day when I skateboarded. Those things are not the best, So here's your detectable warning surfaces. I can see pretty clearly here the ADA path of travel is going to be right through the parking lot, right up to the front of the hotel. So all this concrete around here is going to have to be ADA. This will have to meet ADA. And if you don't know what that means, there's a whole book about it. But basically, the slope, 5% max. You can't have too much cross slope or, longitudinal slope, like uphill or downhill slope for ADA path of travels. It's got to be relatively flat. But it's also got to have some slope to let water run off of it. So that being said, we're going to get back to it and keep plugging away. We will be looking for numbers on the underground utilities, the concrete, the asphalt, the landscaping, and the retaining walls on this job. So if you are interested in any of that type of work, drop me a line, shoot me an email, aaron@southbaygrading.com. Phone number 408-256-1415. All right, more to come. Thanks, guys.